In the quiet village of Umuma, two young men, Ike and Namdi, were famous for their tricks. They could sell a broken radio and make it sound like gold. They could convince a man that rain was falling even when the sun was shining bright. Everyone in the village knew them, but nobody could catch them in their scams. One day, they heard about a rich trader who had just moved into the village, and their minds started working on a new plan. Adana was a mysterious woman. She was beautiful, with long braids and a sharp gaze that made people nervous. She came to Umuoma and bought a big house near the village square. Nobody knew where she was from or what she wanted, but she carried herself like someone with a secret. Ike and Namdi saw her and immediately thought she would be their next target. Ike and Namdi decided to introduce themselves to Adana. They planned to pretend they were businessmen who could help her invest her money. But when they got to her house, she looked at them with a knowing smile. "You boys think you can fool me?" she asked. Ike and Namdi were shocked. How did she know? Adana laughed and invited them inside. "I know scammers when I see them," she said. "But if you want to make real money, I have a deal for you." Ike and Namdi were curious. Was she trying to scam them instead? They decided to listen, thinking they could outsmart her. That night, the village was buzzing with news. Someone had stolen a box of gold from Chief Okafor, the richest man in Umuoma. The chief was furious and promised a big reward for anyone who found the thief. Ike and Namdi looked at Adana. Could she be the one who took the gold? The villagers started whispering. Adana was new, and the robbery happened just after she arrived. Many people thought she was the thief. Even Ike and Namdi were unsure. But something about her made them hesitate. Was she really guilty, or was someone setting her up? The village elders ordered the local guards to search for the thief. Adana remained calm, but Ike and Namdi noticed she was always one step ahead. She knew when to leave and where to hide. How was she always prepared? One evening, Adana called Ike and Namdi. "Help me prove my innocence, and I'll share something valuable with you," she said. The two friends looked at each other. Could they trust her? If she was telling the truth, this could be their biggest trick yet. Ike and Namdi started investigating. They watched Chief Okafor closely and noticed something strange. He seemed nervous, as if he was hiding something. Could it be that the gold was never stolen? The villagers were getting impatient. They wanted answers. The chief grew more aggressive, demanding the guards arrest Adana. Time was running out for Ike, Namdi, and their new mysterious friend. Ike and Namdi decided to follow the chief at night. They saw him sneaking into the forest, carrying a heavy sack. When he returned, his hands were empty. Something was not right. The next night, Adana, Ike, and Namdi followed the chief again. They hid behind trees and watched him meet with a stranger. The two men exchanged whispers, then parted ways. What were they hiding? Namdi's curiosity got the better of him. He followed the stranger into the forest and discovered a hidden cave. Inside, there were chests of gold. The stolen treasure was never stolen, it was hidden. Adana came up with a plan. If they could prove the chief had been lying, they could clear her name. But first, they had to set a trap. The village was preparing for its biggest festival. It was the perfect time to expose the truth. Ike and Namdi spread rumors that the gold had been found, waiting for the chief to react. As expected, Chief Okafor panicked. He tried to retrieve the gold before anyone could find it. But Adana and her new friends were waiting. When the chief entered the cave, the villagers, who had been secretly following, caught him red-handed. His lies were exposed. The villagers were furious. They had trusted the chief, and he had fooled them all. The elders stripped him of his title, and the reward money was given to Ike, Namdi, and Adana. Through this journey, Ike and Namdi had grown close to Adana. They realized she was not just smart, she was kind and fearless. Something new was happening in their hearts. With the money they earned, the three of them started a business. No more scamming, this time, they would earn their wealth the right way. Just as things were going well, an old enemy of Adana appeared. Adana stood her ground, but this was not a battle she could fight alone. Ike and Namdi stood by her side. They had changed, and they would not let their past define them. A fierce battle took place in the village square. The enemy tried to frame Adana again, but this time, the villagers stood with her. After all the danger, Ike and Namdi realized they had fallen in love with Adana. But who did she love in return? With the village safe and justice served, Adana finally made her choice. Whether it was Ike or Namdi, one thing was certain, the three of them would always be family. And so, the village scammers became heroes, proving that even the most mischievous hearts can change.